So hi there, welcome to another ESEA Season 13 CSGO match. I'm Richard Lewis, that's the editor from cadred.org, who's been drafted in to do some shoutcasting of these games. And with me today is my colour commentator, the person that's going to be giving you a bit of insight into what it's like to be a player in CSGO. Joshua Nissan, allegedly of MTW, Josh.
Allegedly. Yes, but that is absolutely me, and I am excited to be here.
Well, you didn't do a bad job actually in the finals. You managed to stay awake, and not just say.
Hang on a second, your mic keeps cutting in and out on me.
Oh, does it? Well, that's maybe for the best. I probably need to up the sound. I turned it right down because last time everyone said it was like I had my microphone in my mouth.
No, this is good right here.
Okay, cool. Right, excellent. Well, anyway, as I was saying, you managed to do an excellent job of staying awake late, and then I made a joke at Rizik's expense. But the moment's gone. I'm not going to continue and labour that point. So yeah, it's good to get you in. I think this is going to be an interesting game actually, because N Faculty impressed me immensely at ESWC when I think they really were the surprise package. Absolute Legends continue to grow as a team and have definitely caught the eye of a lot of people. And I know, of course, you'll be able to shed some light on one of the players there because you did play with RDL for a brief period of time before things ended sourly. So I guess we should start with that. We should start with Absolute Legends, RDL, and some insight you can perhaps give me to that team.
Well, I don't like how you said that it ended sourly. It was definitely not sour, or I hope it wasn't. But Absolute Legends, they're a team, Swedish team, that they really heavily rely on their smoke takes, and they'll execute as a team always. We sometimes see fast takes from them, sometimes slow takes, but anytime they're about to execute on a site, we can see 3 smokes coming up at least. So if they're hitting the A bomb site, we're gonna see smokes coming to CT spawn, to connector, into A site. If they're hitting middle, they're gonna have smokes connector, window, short, and they're gonna throw decoys as well. I noticed that they like to throw a lot of decoys, and we might see this even in the pistol round from them. So Absolute Legends is a team focused mainly on tactics. As far as individual skill goes, they're talented players.
Well, I'm glad you brought up individuals.
What?
See, you played with one.
Sorry, you've cut out again. Can you keep the microphone closer to you?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna fix this. But I was saying, if you played with a player and then got rid of him,
Okay.
how can you then talk about the virtues of his individual skill? No, there's a serious question.
Well, there's skill. See, the thing is, when you look at counter-terror side and terror side focuses a lot more on you're going to an area. You know where the counter-terrorists are going to be. The counter-terrorists are going to be in one of a few different places. They only play from, CT spawn, from jungle, from connector, from window. It's obvious where they're going to be playing from, and very rarely do you see a counter-terrorist who's playing in an aggressive position or somewhere else where you're not really expecting them. Maybe it's an aggressive push, though. But on terror side, basically, oh, the enemy's going to be here. I can go straight for them. I know exactly where they are. And then all it comes down to, basically, is hitting your shot. But when you're playing counter-terrorist side, terrorists can do so many different things where, you can't play the same way as counter-terrorist every round, because a terrorist who knows what you're doing is just going to come and kill you every single round if you keep doing the same thing. So as a counter-terrorist, this is where you have to come. This is where individual skill comes into play. You can't just do the same thing. You'll just get rocked round after round. So you got to be able to think on your feet. You got to think, okay, what is the enemy going to do against me this round? And
okay then. Well, with that said, where does that place N Faculty? Because I don't know what your feelings are about them. I think they're a very solid unit. I think they're a very good team. Individually, they may not be as talented as Absolute Legends, but they certainly have members in the team that have way more experience. In particular, I would say Disruptor, who's been around since day dot. I remember him representing, I think it was MTW actually, back in 2006. So he's an part of the alumni of MTW. So I mean, he's going to have buckets and buckets of experience, and in these kind of situations, especially on a map that, let's be honest, Mirage isn't particularly familiar to a lot of the European teams. I mean, only the ones who've either played ESEA regularly, which of course that hasn't even been an option for this particular game, or people who've attended European LANs, which, you know, not everyone has, and certainly these teams have been fortunate enough to attend one or two, but I wouldn't say they've attended all of the ones on the calendar. So Mirage is a bit of an unknown quantity anyway. I mean, is there not an argument to say that for all this talk of experience and tactics, the individual skill is what's going to out on the day?
Okay, there's 2 points that I want to touch base on.
Right.
The first point is, because this is CSGO and not CSS or 1.6, Mirage is definitely played here in Europe. You don't have people saying like, oh, this is an American map, or oh, this is a European map. Like Tuscan's a German map from CSS, for example.
Yeah.
And Contra or Season's an American map in CSS. But in this game, everyone plays Mirage. Mirage is probably one of the most, like, it's one of the staple maps, I guess. That and Dust 2. Everyone plays this and Dust 2. And most people just say, alright, let's get rid of Dust 1, Aztec, Train. They don't want to play those maps. So Mirage is definitely a map that is frequently played. As far as the other part of the question goes, about and faculty, about them being as a unit, I think these two teams are really close together in terms of skill as individuals, as well as how they play as a unit, as a team. Disruptor probably is one of their better players, but I've also seen really good things out of QK Mantis. QK Mantis is...
I was going to definitely shine a spotlight on him, so I'll let you finish your praise.
Yeah, well, I saw a few of the games, most notably at ESWC, where he actually single-handedly did so much work against the other teams that kept his team in the game, but at the same time, it feels like he's hit or miss. Some games he'll do really well, he'll do like 20 kills and a half, and then other games he'll just go like 4 and 15. And then I don't understand why it happens that way, but I know that he is more times than not a huge impact for his team in this game. But in terms of like how they operate as a team, they'll run very similar tactics to Absolute Legends, but what we see from Faculty on their Terra side is very, very slow play. They'll split up, they'll go spread across the map, and they'll do very slow play. They'll probably have middle control. But you don't want to push, if you're Absolute Legends, you don't want to push on your counter Terra side, because Faculty will just be waiting for you. They'll be waiting, they'll be set up, you'll push, and then you'll get killed. And on Faculty, they work it very slow, and then they'll just execute when they feel like they've got the proper positioning, and then they have good executions as well. But their shots individually aren't as good as probably some of the players on Absolute Legends, but I still see this match coming very close, maybe 16 to 14 or 16 to 13 in favor of Absolute Legends. So I've just made a prediction now.
Yeah, I was going to say, because that was the next part I was saying, we're about to go, like, it's like we're just one. It's incredible. The synergy we've got already. But yeah, I was going to ask you for a prediction. And you know, 16-13 for Absolute Legends. I guess that puts me on the spot because I'm now going to have to go the other way. But I'm thinking 16-13 as well. I was going to go with Faculty. So yeah, why not? Why not make it that way? So we will place a wager of a beer on this bet, as always, which will be served up at a LAN in the near future. But it looks like we are about to go live. And just to put some emphasis on this, Faculty had a pretty good record of pistol rounds at the ESWC, so I'm very looking forward to see what they're going to do tactically. But they are going to do it looks like maybe a standard kind of split here. The bomb has been dropped down just outside of the ramps to A, and you can see that you've got Disruptor there and Kirby just having a little peek, just creating a bit of noise, bit of a distraction, and we've got the first flash and smoke grenades coming in, and indeed some HE grenades. So they're doing a little trade, and you can see that the damage for Absolute Legends, and there was a big little shot there on RDL there from Disruptor, who's just took him down to 40 HP, and that might be a factor, but of course, while that's happened, QK Mantis has also been taken out of the round. So we've got these exchanges, no penetration really from N faculty at the moment, but RDL is very low. That smoke is going to get deployed, and that's going to allow Disruptor to take RDL down, who is up on those raised boxes. Disruptor now is still spamming away in that area. He knows that somebody else is there. You'll be able to see that, no doubt, on the Left 4 Dead style X-ray cam. And while all that's been going on, the bomb, of course, has been planted on the other bomb site. So it's a bit of the old rope-a-dope. They managed to distract them so much, and mission complete. So this bomb is going to be ticking away, but we are going to get this rotate coming in from Absolute Legends, and N faculty are not in a great position. They're going to get straight on the defuse here, and Pronax is going to get a kill, which is going to allow them to get this defuse absolutely no problem there. And that was a textbook retake of the site. That's going to gift Absolute Legends this pistol round. Josh, did you see anything there tactically that you liked or disliked?
Actually, I saw something from Asmo that was really killer. It really hurts me deep down inside, because what and faculty basically did that round was they had heavy pressure over at the A bomb site. They had pressure on A ramp and apartments, and then what that did is we saw Absolute Legends basically rotating early and stacking the A bomb site. Once they were stacked there with 4 people, Asmo snuck all the way through B apartments into the kitchen area. And then a counter-terrorist player ran right by him, and he missed like 3 or 4 deagle shots. The counter-terrorist turned around and just owned him, and then if he had made that kill, they would have won the round. But since he missed like half a deagle clip basically, they lost the round because of that. Otherwise, they had Absolute Legends perfectly outplayed.
Well, it goes to show again what you were talking about with the individual skill and the teamwork. Now, obviously, we've met Asmo. I did an interview with him. I can't remember where it was. I think it was ESWC. We keep bringing that up, but he's a great character. But there is no excuse for that level of failure. And I wasn't looking at it. I was more interested in watching the kind of trades on the other bomb sites. I was distracted by that. And of course, while that's been going on, we have had a eco round come in. So it just goes to show those little individual mistakes can lead to terrible things happening long term. But while that's been going on, Absolute Legends have again allowed another plan, which is going to start impacting on their economy. And N faculty are dug in here, but we're going to see some P90 action from Pronax, but it's not going to be enough. And Asmo, perhaps atoning for the earlier fail that we were talking about, gets a very nice little headshot there with an AK, and that's going to give them a surprise round against the run of play. Was that Absolute Legends being perhaps a little bit too complacent there because they were still expecting an eco round? Did they not read the economic situation correctly?
Absolutely, you're right. Basically, when we saw the bomb plant on the first round from N faculty, and then the full Glock save on the second round, it should be expected that the terrorists are going to want to buy AKs on the third round, basically. And Absolute Legends made the mistake of keeping their SMGs instead of upgrading to their rifles, and then they got caught AKs versus their MP7s, and obviously the AK is going to win the fight 9 times out of 10.
And that's a great little entry flag there from SMN, who used that angle brilliantly, used the terrain to just look long into the B bomb site. And it's always great to get that entry pick, because all of a sudden as a CT, you're now going to be thinking, where do I go? Do I need to rotate? Do we need to hold? And you can see N faculty, just like Josh was saying in the build-up to this game, very patient. They're not overcommitting, and they're going to, and SMN again is going to get taken down there. Was really going to rush out on the site, and that flash absolutely destroyed everyone, and Lidder's just picked up 2 easy kills. But Asmo's going to know where he is, so he's going to give him a nice little early Christmas present of a grenade straight into his lap. He's going to jump down and then fail again, so he's in this rotational basis of succeed, fail, and that kill, he needed to make it, and that left QK Mantis with it all to do, and he is indeed died a horrible death to make it 3-1. So no momentum forthcoming for N faculty. Going to see what they're going to do in terms of their economy, because they've had a lot of plants, didn't get one that round. So yeah, I'm not seeing any guns being bought. I think they are just going to do some sort of full eco here, and it looks like it's going to be an A split. 3 up the ramp. I think 2 are going to go out the house. And yet they're just going to run straight onto there. This is great. Neil's going to get the first one and make that a second. And a third, and then, well, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that, but that dude got 2. And QK Mantis, the last to die again, the bait happy guy. So, right, at 4-1, Are we starting to see any patterns emerge with 5 rounds into this half? Have you noticed anything that you think might need to change?
Well, the thing that we have to keep in mind is that if you hit tab, you can see the money that and faculty have. And when we saw them lose the first 2 rounds and then win 1 round and then lose, it reset their money. So that's why we're seeing that they're in a pretty difficult economic situation here. But what happened with Absolute Legends was that they bought Fomuses and they basically force bought last round, even though they lost the round with the SMGs. So that SMG round probably played in their favor to a certain extent and kind of killed N Faculty's money situation. But as I'm saying this, we do see a bunch of action going off in the 8th site.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, they've managed to play a little bit of a faster tactic here, and you can see SMN's in a hell of a position here. I don't think they know where he's managed to get right down behind that box, although that said, you can see that Absolute Legends are kind of looking directly at him, and yet in the end it's Pronax that's come around and mopped up those 2 kills. And what we're starting to see now, I think, is we're starting to see Absolute Legends kind of drop back the minute N Faculty are getting onto a bomb site, and what they're more concerned about doing is really preventing the plant. They don't think N Faculty are going to do a fake. They rotate, they get some flashes in to slow down the play, and then they create these very devastating crossfires, which is certainly what happened that round. So Absolute Legends playing it absolutely spot on. They're reading it very well at the moment. Nice and passive. We're not seeing any counter-terrorists pushing into the areas. And I'm just looking at this group up we've got here from N Faculty. And you can see a very keen angle being held there from Pronax, who's going to go for a bit of timing on that nade. And with that nade gone, here comes the charge of the Light Brigade. I'm pretty sure it's going to be that. Pronax, some great rifle controls, going to get 2 kills. He knows that there's another one there, and he's just going to spam over the top to get the headshot and make that a 3rd and a 4th headshot. Well, absolutely huge from him. Just great individual skill. I know it was an eco round. I shouldn't get too excited. But that's going to make it 6 rounds to 1. Quick look at the frag charts before we go over to Josh for some loving analysis. And you can see Pronax absolutely owning it at the moment. 12 kills, 2 deaths, an overall score of 31. SMN is N Faculty's Danger Man. And at the bottom, it's Zneil for Absolute Legends. But Kirby yet to get a frag. 0 for 7. So, I'm going to put you into N Faculty's shoes now, Josh, while this next round unfolds. What do you think they need to be doing?
Well, we're seeing them just do a lot of fast strats now, a lot of fast just attacks with no smokes, no flashes. They're just basically running into Absolute Legends right now, and Absolute Legends has a nice hold on their counter-terror side where they actually flash for each other, as we saw a few rounds ago with Lida under balcony, basically killing 2 of the enemies coming up action ramp. And what the faculty need to do is stick to what works with them, and their team is all about doing slow executions with smokes and flashes and splitting the enemy from 3 different angles. And we saw it a little bit this round, how they came in through connector and up action and through apartments. But what we need to do is stop seeing like the full B rushes or the full A rushes, just like everyone coming out of the same choke point, because they're going to lose if they keep doing it that way.
Well, they did win that round. I mean, it was a little bit different than what you were talking about, obviously, and in the end they managed to get some good crossfires going on. Zneil unable to make that clutch, and that's going to make it 6 rounds to 2. Just a quick question before we get into the next series of play-by-play nonsense. Do you think, or how many rounds do you think a terrorist side should be taking on Mirage?
Without the pistol, they should definitely be able to pick up 6 rounds. At the very least. This map is relatively balanced as far as maps go. So, yeah, 6 rounds. They and faculty really want to win.
Okay, so Absolute Legends are absolutely hammering them at the moment. And you can see they've just got all the angles covered. RDL's going to pick up a nice little kill there on Asmo, who's not having the greatest of games. Kirby, the last man standing for N Faculty. He's going to try and work some magic, I think, and he's managed to get himself into a good position here. If he's aware of... He is. He did get it in the end, so you got RDL. That's a kill. It's going to be a hell of a clutch if he can pull this off. Still got 70 HP. He's going to deploy a smoke. That's going to give him a little bit of cover. Of course, the clock is ticking away. 48 seconds. I don't know if he's trying to play for a save here or if this is a super elaborate slow clutch. I reckon he's just going to go for a save of the gun because a lot to do. And you can see that he's just having a little look up onto the roofs, checking every corner at the moment. And moving into the house area.
Before you go on any further, though, I think he is trying to save the bomb, the gun here. If you
Yeah.
hit tab and you see the money situation, they are really low on money,
Mm.
and he's in a 1 versus 4 situation here. But what you can see that he actually thought about is when he went over by middle and got that kill at middle, it basically told Absolute Legends, hey, Kirby's over B side of the map or mid side of the map. So Kirby actually came and walked all the way to A apartments, and that's going to throw Absolute Legends off his trail a little bit, so he can actually save this AK and use it in the next round. And
Do
if
you think he thought about it that much, Josh? Are you perhaps giving him a bit too much credit?
I don't think I'm giving him too much credit. If he wanted to go for the round with 40 seconds left on the clock, he absolutely needed to run in and just basically put on the Nikes, not walk. But the fact that he just came into apartments, cleared his close angles, and then stopped was a conscious decision to save the weapon.
So there we go. That's why we bring a pro in, because what would a commentator know? What would an old commentator know? But while that's going on, we got RDL's going to get that entry flag, and again it's these fast strats from N faculty. Of course, it is an eco apart from the gun that we saw saved in the round previous. Asmo's bought a Deagle. Perhaps he's not the guy who should be buying them, but we'll wait and see. And he's spamming it away, not really focusing on one target. That's going to allow QK Mantis to get one after he gets taken down, but RDL's going to pick up another kill. And, well, that's a great little headshot from him again. Absolutely brilliant. Just a peek and dink, but he does get a grenade thrown at his feet. And now it's on Kirby. The man who saved the weapon wasn't really worth it in the end, because it's now going to be 8 rounds to 2. And at the moment, N faculty are looking, I don't know, they're looking like they don't have a lot in terms of tactical know-how on this particular map.
Definitely not. And what they should try to do again is their strat. Basically, it's an A split, 2 going through connector and a few going up A ramp and apartments. And that was basically what won them one of their only gun round. But I like how you commented on RDL's last peek there, where he got the USB headshot, because before that, just before that, while the terrorists were coming out through the choke point in the house, RDL missed 30 bullets with his M4, and then he got the kill with his second clip of the USP. So,
hey, it's not how you make them, it's just that you make them. And Disruptor has made one there. He's got the entry flag, and RDL's going to pick up another one. You can see what's happening here in terms of where N faculty are positioned. RDL's going to get another kill. He has definitely got a hot hands at the moment, to use a basketball analogy. Lid is going to get another one, but SMN is going to also add one. Neil is now going to go into SMN in this clutch situation, and the N faculty boys are just dropping. They're making it so hard for themselves, really unable to predict where people are going to be. Neil's going to get another kill on SMN, and so many plants, but just so little rounds won. Why is it that they can get the bomb down, but they can't actually defend it? Is that something they're doing wrong, or is that a trait of the map particularly?
I think the third option would be that Absolute Legends was actually out of position. And what happened there was RDL was in the B bomb site by himself, and there were multiple N faculty members charging at him, and RDL did a good job actually by not only killing 2 of them before he went down, but he slowed them down long enough for his teammates to get the rotation started. With that rotation started is where N faculty basically fell apart with only 3 players left, and they're all spread out, one in the back of site, one in the ladder room. Basically they had no crossfires going, there was nothing that was going their way, and in a 3 versus 3 like that, when they're so dispersed and spread around the map, they need to do something differently.
Well, they didn't do anything differently there. They are definitely sticking to this kind of ritual suicide pact that they've got on eco rounds, which I never like. I always think you should make people work for it, you know, even if you just camp up in spawn or something, you know, just don't give it away cheaply. But anyway, so they can now afford to buy again, and then faculty are getting to that stage at 10 for 2 where they are going to need to start taking some rounds if they want this game to be anything. And certainly I want them to start taking some, because my prediction's looking absolutely awful. My enforced prediction, I must add. But looking around the map right now, and faculty are doing their pretty much standard setup at the moment. This is when if they don't do a fast strat, they kind of spread out and they're just having a little look. And the amount of times they've made the entry pick but then not been able to do anything with it, that's either a testament to fundamental badness on the case of faculty or brilliance from absolute legends. You can see Pronax is in a great position here that they're going to push out a house, and if they do not check this corner, they're going to get dicked in the back, to use the technical phrase. And Mantis was aware of that danger, does take down Pronax, which is going to open this B bomb site. Kirby's going to get another kill, and of course there's one been answered back from the AWP of Asgard, and RDL again with another kill. And then another on top of that. And this is what's been happening to faculty non-stop. They get into the sites, but then they just cannot stop the onrushing absolute legends onslaught. And man for man, they are just getting outshot right now, Josh.
Yeah, and if you look at faculty, how they actually play their game, Inferno is by far their best map. I don't think I've seen them lose a single Inferno game yet. And what they do on that map is they take map control first. They take apartment control, they take middle control, they take banana control, and then they execute a strategy. But we're not seeing that same playstyle from them in this game. We're seeing them just grouping up and going, and they're not taking middle, and they're not taking A apartments or action. They're just going in and brute forcing, and they're not going to win aim versus aim battles against a team like Absolute Legends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not at the moment either. I mean, you can see another round that's just gone by the wayside, and there were guns there. I'm really perplexed by what I'm seeing, because these rounds are over so cheaply, and they just don't seem to be at the races at the moment. I don't know if it's a unique kind of quirk of this particular map, and maybe they've got some awesome counter-terrorist defense up their sleeve, but they are really going to need it. SMN trying to save his gun here. He is going to get a kill onto Pronax, but in doing so gives away his position, enabling RDL to get yet another kill. And while we're talking about kills, just before we go into the last round, let's have a quick look at the frag charts. And indeed, my gut feeling is right. RDL, let us not forget the man deemed surplus to requirements by MTW, Josh. I don't know if you heard about that. He's on 20 kills, 7 deaths, an overall score of 46, just to be a little bit like Call of Duty. SMN, he's the best thing about faculty right now, and he's got 9 kills, 13 deaths, and only 20 points. And Asmo, not living up to the robot after which he's named. He's only got 1 kill and 13 deaths. Pitiful performance from him. So I'm not going to bring you over, Josh. I'm going to get your thoughts at half-time. We're going to steam on into this round, and then faculty again playing it slow. There's all sorts of gypsy guns been bought here. I'm seeing a Galil. I'm seeing all sorts of things. A P90. And they're going to do this boost in mid. They're going to try and go through this window. And there's not going to be anybody there. And QK Mantis with the P90, you can see, if you look on your radars, he's pretty close to someone, but he's a little bit panicky about what's happening on the left, and he's going to run through with his back turned. In the meantime, Asmo, he's listening to the commentary. He's picked up a kill, but Zanil is going to answer back and remove him from the game to cap a wretched half. But we are going to get another bomb plant from faculty. Kirby with his Galil is just watching those back stairs, but RDL is going to get another kill. Fully warmed up now, treating this like a game of deathmatch. It's just so easy for him at the moment. And Kirby and well, as QK Mantis taken down, so it is all on Kirby now, but they are low in the battle of the hell. Oh, he's gonna catch that flash, but it doesn't seem to work. Oh my word, it was so close to a ridiculous clutch after that flashbang hit him full in the face. And they're saying good half. It's 13-2. Let's be honest, Josh, it wasn't a good half, especially if you're German.
And the best is the comment where they say good half, and then they end it with the WP, because the WP is definitely a sarcastic remark.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, but I think everyone knows. What do you say? I mean, even the whole introduction of the good half notion at that stage, when you've been, absolutely beasted 13-2. It's not a good half, is it? You haven't had a good time. So how do you see this half panning out quickly, just before we go into this crucial pistol round? 1 or 2 sentences about how you see this panning out.
Well, if we want to see faculty regaining any sort of momentum and pull the match closer into something that resembles the prediction either of us made, they need to first win this pistol round, and I've never seen them do an aggressive pistol round. only play it passively.
Mhm.
But Absolute Legends will have lots of smokes and decoys going into middle, and then they're going to do a B split through B short and apartments, I think. Now, I'm not positive, but that's what I think. And if in fact they're not in position for this, then it's going to be bad news bears for them, as we
Well,
can see.
so far you are looking right here that smoke has gone over, and yeah, it looks like they are going to take that split. I see Lither's bought Julie's as well, so what can you do about, and there they are coming into play. What can you do when they've got more bullets than you? And there's another one. He's just going to jump through here. It's like watching a western. He doesn't care. There's another nade kill there from N faculty. Perhaps they should stick to just buying only nades the way things are going at the moment. There's another Julie frag from Litter, and things are looking very bad for N faculty here. And there's another one, and RDL mops it up. Litter killed 4 people with those Julies. A pretty good buy. It's 14 for 2. And, well, I think it's over, isn't it? It's going to be 16-2, Josh.
Yeah, and that's what I was afraid of happening within faculty because
a very good call by you. It's almost know what you're talking about.
But basically, what you have to look at is they play a very passive counter-terrorist as well as terrorist side, and it's very rare that you see them doing any aggressive strategies as a terrorist. And they ran more that last half than I've seen them run all year, basically. But what we have to keep in mind now is that the score is 14-2, and then faculty bought Deagles this round. So if they lose this round, it's basically game over. But as I say that, Disruptor picking up 2
huge play by him. Someone please make a clip of that. And you know what? Disruptor with the P90 he's just picked up has only gone and got a 3-man. That is the benefit of experience. You know what? They could potentially turn this round on its head. Is so good has got his Galil, and Neil's got some terrible gypsy gun, and well, as I say that, he just shreds people to death with it to make it a 2v2, and then SMN is going to just survive that exchange. So it's a 2v1 situation. Is so good is having a little look around with his Galil. He knows that this guy's here. And oh my god, that's a fail and a half. SMN on 14 HP. And they've stopped the rot there. He's going to get a Galil for his trouble as well, which is also going to be very good for the economy. And N faculty's come out all guns blazing, predominantly Deagles. What was different about that round with no guns that's been different to every other round with guns, Josh?
They were desperate, and they pushed. And Disruptor, while he was pushing, caught 2 of the Absolute Legends members out of basically they didn't expect him. They expected him to be in CT spawn. He pushed up in their face when they weren't paying attention, and he got 2 huge frags, picked up a gun, and basically turned the tide from there.
Well, Asmo's going to be grateful for that as well. That's the kind of thing that Germans love to put in frag movies. It's an eco bash, a good old-fashioned eco bash. Asmo's going to get 3 kills. That's going to be good for his confidence. QK Mantis is going to get another one. And you can see that, well, it's interesting. Pronax is in a very interesting spot. I'm not too sure they know that he's boosted up in there. Well, as I say, that SMN read the situation brilliantly and took Pronax out. He was just kind of boosted up in the vents to make it 14 for 4. And, well, that was, as expected, Absolute Legends didn't do a great deal. They know they got rounds to play with, so I'm just going to keep running with the whole play-by-play thing because not really a lot to analyse in that round. They were pretty much happy to surrender it. Bit of a Swedish eco, minus typing killing console. And you can see from the radar, if you're watching, that what we've got here from Absolute Legends is another A split with a lot of them going house. Mantis has gone pretty aggressive, pretty high up, but that has allowed RDL to get that pick on Disruptor, and the rotate's going to be coming in, but with that smoke shutting out SMN, brilliant. But QK Mantis, of course, was in that aggressive position. He's managed to wrap around and come behind him and pick up 2 kills. Issa Good, though, is going to be shutting off that particular area. And, well, nades coming in. Asmo's going to get a kill. Kirby's going to get a kill. And that is going to allow So Good to be the clutch hero, or possibly not, because the defuse is in and he's just going to run away. So a very, very solid eco there from Absolute Legends, and they made it look pretty easy actually to get onto that bomb site and get a plant down, but of course M faculty themselves were doing that in the first half. So are we about to see an amazing comeback, Josh, or is this just panning out the way you expected?
Honestly, I don't think we will see a comeback. We saw the only reason Absolute Legends got the bomb plant that round wasn't because they made it into the bomb site by outskilling the enemy. Disruptor literally had a grenade in his hands when RDL ran at him with a Glock. And what we saw the last half was that Absolute Legends was basically out of position every time Faculty was running into their bomb sites. But here, Faculty died, and that's how Absolute Legends got into the bomb site.
Would you kick players for doing things like that, Josh?
Probably.
Don't worry, I heard it's all hoods anyway. Right,
Yeah.
he's the bad guy, right? So anyway, in jokes aside, we are at the a crucial stage in the match. So stay focused, Richard, in this exciting game. Right, let's do it. I'm gonna go on Asmo Cam because it turns both hilarious and brilliant. And there he is. He delivers with a great missed AWP shot there. Neil just comes around and sprays him down. And Pronax is going to get a kill on Disruptor. Neil's going to mop up and get Kirby's. He tries to fit through the smallest of holes. And there we go. It is now match point, 15 for 5. The score perhaps a little bit flattering for Faculty at this stage. We're going to stay and just do the play-by-play because I've got a feeling this isn't going to go much further. But, you know, I've been ripping on Asmo a little bit. He's a great guy. He'll forgive me for it, I'm sure. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm off the Christmas card list. Who knows? But Asmo is actually top at the moment with 12 points. So read it and weep, bros. He is the man, and as Neil for Absolute Legends, he is doing that. So it's the guys who are at the bottom end by this time in the last half. They're the guys who are leading the charge this half. So that's CS:GO for you. But anyway, Absolute Legends are now just really going to smoke off this mid area, and they're just going to go super aggressive on B. They want this round early. Their mums are calling them for their teas. They must go and eat, so they're just going to wrap this up nice and quick. And you can see they've got those entry frags. Lidder is going to get this bomb planted down. It's a 3v3 situation. No reason to think Faculty will win it because that hasn't exactly been happening. Mantis, though, is going to give his side a fighting chance. He's going to take out ESEA Goods. Lidder is just holding the rear. He's going to get an easy killer. Check that corner. QK Mantis and then Neil is going to get the last. It is going to be 16 to 5. It is going to be an absolute one-sided whitewash. And Absolute Legends looked a cut above Faculty. Josh, I'm moving over to you to your final thoughts. But first, a question. What was wrong with Faculty? Why were they so bad?
Well, we have to look at how the rounds panned out. We have to look at Absolute Legends winning both of the pistol rounds. We have to look at after Absolute Legends won the pistol round, and then Faculty got a round after that. It was a 2-1 lead for Absolute Legends. And then Absolute Legends won buying Thomases, and it reset Faculty's money in the first half. So right there we saw, by the 5th round, Faculty had already ran 3 eco rounds. If you keep going down this path of picking up 1 round and then losing 3, it's very hard to pick up any momentum. So once we saw that Faculty was struggling with rounds, and the rounds that they did manage to squeeze out, it was basically hurting them more than it was helping them, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Another thing that we need to notice is, Faculty, the way they were playing on pistol round, they should have played aggressively, and then on their gun rounds against ecos, they need to play passively. They can't play their passive setups against smokes that are blocking them off at all their rotation spots, because then they can't hold the sights that way. But what we need to see happen more often is when Absolute Legends is on eco and they can't throw smokes and can't throw flashes, that's when you sit back with your guns. When Absolute Legends is standing 3 people in a corridor with smokes in their hands lining them up for 5 seconds, that's when you push. And that's when you get like a 3-kill multi-frag on people that don't even have their guns out. So I think that's what Faculty needs to focus on if they want to start collecting more rounds on both halves.
Well, what about Absolute Legends, though? Can we say they did anything like superbly? Do we have to give them some renewed respect? I mean, it can't all be about Faculty being bad, can it?
It's not Faculty being bad per se. We did see some really weak play from some of their players, and I'm going to call them out by name. Asmo on the pistol round on the first half, I think it was their terrorist side. He just absolutely, some guy just runs by him, his back's turned to him. Asmo misses half a deagle clip into his back. He has a
Yep.
superior positioning. He has basically everything that secures the round as long as he hit his shot. And I think that's what lost the pistol round. And had he gotten that pistol round instead of throwing it, basically, then I think the game would have been a lot closer than it actually was. Another issue that we've seen was that every clutch round, basically every 3 versus 3 that we saw between the teams, doesn't matter if N Faculty was on Terra side or counter Terra side, they didn't play together as a team. We would see one player pushing, one player hiding, another player flanking. Like, there was no cohesion, there was no teamwork, there was no chemistry. But from Absolute Legends, we saw it. Anytime they needed to retake a site, it's bam, 2 people in every spot, and they're able to come in and get the trade kill if it comes down to the trade kill. So Absolute Legends playing better as a team, as well as getting the individual shots that they need. We saw, even though it was a bunch of eco smashing, we did see some good individual play from some of the Absolute Legends players. RDL, for one, was actually getting quite a lot of multi-frags and holding the B bomb site on his counter terror side, so that was good individual play from him.
You sound surprised, Josh.
Well, we played on faculty at EPS finals. And we beat them.
Yes.
What?
I'm trying to draw you into something here.
Yeah,
and
I know.
you're not biting, Josh.
I know. I'm a new man.
Okay, well, final thoughts then. I mean, in terms of league standings and indeed the final, where we're going to have the top 4, I believe it is, going to be flown out to America to meet the top 4 from the American division. Are either of those teams going to figure in that final reckoning?
Maybe Absolute Legends, but I think the top 4 would probably be NIP, hands down. Games is going to be up there. ESC has been impressing me lately, so they definitely have a chance. And then I think the last spot is a toss-up, and it's going to go between Absolute Legends, maybe Curse. I know Nexus has a new roster now with picking up the disbanded Wolves roster.
Yeah.
So I think it could be a toss-up between any of those 3 teams.
Okay.
I don't know. It's too early to tell, and because it's 16 matches that everyone has to play, it can go any way at this point. It's not something clear-cut like 4 teams in a group stage.
What I find with these leagues is it's a lot of the times it doesn't come down to skill. It comes down to attrition, and whatever sides manage to not have its roster implode by the end of 15 weeks, they're generally the ones that get to go on and enjoy the LAN. But I won't keep you much longer because I think we pretty much analysed that game to death, when in actual fact there wasn't a hell of a lot to analyse. So I will say thank you very much for doing so, and I hope you will join me tomorrow when, for all the people who are interested, we're going to have another game, and that is going to be something a little bit better, I hope. It's going to be Fnatic versus Curse. Indeed, it is scheduled for tomorrow, and there's no reason to believe that they're going to need to move it. So that's going to be very interesting. Fnatic, of course, are featuring some well-known Danish talent, which they've had a bit of problems lately. They've had to bring in 2 kind of stand-ins for the league. Curse.eu, on the other hand, are the veteran Finns, and they've really turned heads in their first game, which was a defeat. They managed to take Ninjas in Pajamas all the way to overtime. So should be a very interesting game, plenty to rave about, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. And that's going to be tomorrow. And I'm sorry I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it you in the European time, which I believe is going to be 9 o'clock CET tomorrow. Sorry for all you American people listening. You'll just have to figure it out yourself because I can't be bothered. But again, thank you, Josh. It's been a pleasure to have you on. I look forward to co-casting with you again tomorrow. You can say goodbye if you want.
And
there
likewise,
you go.
I actually did enjoy this.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It brings me back. It brings me back to the time that I was on your couch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which I'd never keep secrets because I'm such an asshole. So obviously, there's gonna be a full article about the time that Steele was homeless. And
oh God,
had to.
Please don't mention the thing about the the thing.
There's a lot of things.
There are a lot of things.
There's a lot of things. No, I'm gonna leave the time you block my toilet out of it, Josh. I think that's only fair. But anyway, guys, while me and Josh go off to reminisce, I just want to thank you all for tuning into this ESEA Season 13 Shoutcast provided by myself, Richard Lewis from cadred.org, and of course Josh Steele, Nissan, allegedly, of MTW. Looking forward to having you join us tomorrow, where we're hoping to bring you some of the best action that this league will bring, and indeed throughout the rest of the season. So you know where to find us now, and we've got over all the technical problems that we had in our first game. I apologise for them. They're all fixed now, and looking forward to further casts. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a pleasant evening.